Hello, hello. Welcome to Leap Taken. I'm Mika. Here at Leap Taken, I talk all things witchy, craft related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. Welcome to the live. I'm just getting everything situated here. Hi, Gemstones. Welcome, welcome. I got all this stuff out. Welcome. I forget about my own background. All right, so I'm Mika. Here at Leap Taken, we talk all things witchy, craft related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. Today, I'm going to be talking about a host of different things. So this is going to be fun, keeping it light because there's a lot. Hi, good afternoon. There's a lot that is heavy. Um, Oh, child, there's so much. Every time I come on, I want to say it's the same thing, but it's not. It's like new crazy stuff. Also, check out my shirt. So this tells you the mood I'm in, where I'm at. My good girlfriend bought me this shirt a couple years ago. Only bring it out when I need to. This is not like my just wear on a regular basis shirt. I bring this shirt out with intention for obvious reasons. There's so many things, right? But anyway, um, but yeah, we're gonna talk about I'm gonna give you guys a sneak peek of my Hearth Witch Book of Shadows. That's one. I'm gonna talk about the class that I'm offering April 4th. That's two. And I'm gonna have a conversation about grounding and why it's so important. I'm gonna tap into some stuff, but I'm not going to go deep into it because I don't want to. And I said I made a promise I was not going to do that here. This is not. I'm not a political pundit, and I'm not someone to come to about politics. But I'm also not someone who could afford to say, "Oh, I don't follow politics," because that's stupid. Like and if you are someone who is saying that, you're just being a game is being played and it's happening around you, and you're probably just a pawn or you're getting ran over. But anyway, grounding. We're going to start with the grounding part because I want to start there, and then I'll talk about the class, and then I'm going to give you the look of the book because I'm quite excited. So I have my notes here because y'all know I go off. Let's take a moment and talk about grounding and the importance of it and how it is a huge part of my practice, but I'm making it even more huge part. I'm going bigger. Grounding is the foundation of everything that we do as witches. It really is. It's how we center ourselves, recharge our energy, and stay balanced even when life gets chaotic. It helps prevent burnout, spiritual exhaustion, and that feeling of being scattered or drained, is specifically like after spell work or ritual, things like that. It keeps us in line. But for me, grounding isn't just about sitting in meditation or visualizing roots going into the earth, although I do that. It's not just about that. Those are great techniques, and I definitely I will advocate for people doing stuff like that. I think it's a good idea. But it's also about using your senses, working with herbs, cooking with intention, taking your ritual baths or showers, even movement based grounding. So, yes, putting dropping your hands to your knees, tooting your butt out, and bouncing, and and even dancing in general or stretching. So, as of late, that's something I've been doing. I picked up my yoga practice again. I kind of and I think I got the winter blues and I didn't, keep it up as I should have. But anyway, but I'm back. I'm back to becoming more flexible. I'm also using weights and just kind of like that resistance. Um, the resistance my body is doing, this body that I have is doing to resist the workouts. I'm actually using that as sort of like a release, And I find that also is very grounding as well. I would suggest doing that, like just like the natural resistance this 50-year-old body has to want to be, folded like a pretzel. I'm using that to my advantage. I don't see it as a negative. I see it as a sense of release and a sense of sort of grounding. And when I'm done, I feel like I've exerted myself. And then I have to focus on my breath during as well. I have to focus on my breath. And I don't know, it just, it feels spiritual, and learning to trust myself, using physical movement is has really been important to me. Let me know how you guys ground that isn't as conventional as maybe meditation, and if it is, you can put that. But like, do you have ways that sort of don't fit the norm? Do you put on music and scream, sing, and dance like nobody's watching? So while you uh, add that, and if you're catching this on the back end, please share. I'm sure you might give people ideas. I do want to talk about my recent trip. And if you follow me on Magical Lifestyle of a Cottage, which my other YouTube channel, something's bothering me. Anyway, if you follow me there, I showed like glimpses of that, like at the beginning of that video. So I went, and I've been to this location before. Again, I don't know why I've been depriving myself of going here, but I did. So let's start with when I moved here. I would say I traded mountains, oceans, or mountains for the ocean, because I used to live near the ocean. I lived in Florida. And I grew up basically on the coastline of the Northeast side my whole, most of my life. So I always had access to the beach and to large bodies of water. Coming here, that changed everything. And one of the things that I have not been taking advantage of is enough, because I go, but not enough, is the very nature that is all around me and the raw energy that I can easily tap into. I have Sedona if I want to really go further out. But right here in the Phoenix area, I also have access to these massive structures that is just, formed by nature itself, in all of the ancient native magic that has taken place there. And yes, even the magic of those who, because, okay, people will tell you there's two schools of thoughts on this. One is wrong, I'm right. There is proof that those in Africa did actually travel the seas and make contact with the Americas prior to any European. That does not mean we spawned here and we are original to this land. Not enough of us came here, Africans, to fully give credit to the idea that most African people, who us, me, Black American people, are from or indigenous to this land. That's just not true. Those who are saying things like that, honestly, one, there's not enough education on the topic. I actually taught this as a homeschooling curriculum to my son, with references and facts and actual information through professors and people who taught on the university level, museum exhibits that you can actually, I don't know if you can still do that today, but you can look at, we were able to look at it online and do a 3D tour walkthrough as if we were physically there, of proof of this. But they have been able to come here. So there is that connection that I feel as well. Not saying I'm indigenous, and I don't have Native American ancestry. Much to the people in my life, my father, who was insisted upon because he was told that we're part in an Indian, we're not. And every race that exists, yes, I'm on a tangent. Every look or ethnicity or whatever that exists in the world exists in Africa. So there in Africa, you have people who have like the slanted eyes. They look very much Asian, high cheekbones, and anything else that you can think of. It already exists because that's where life began for us. tangent over. So as I stand out looking into the mountains, I went to South Mountain. As I stood out and I looked and I just I used my eyes to see. I used all my other senses at the same time. Even the air when you're up that high. And by the way, it's a lookout point. So I drove up and I was literally popped the back. I have an SUV. Popped the trunk, sat, and just let all of that happen. So I used all of my senses. When I left, I literally felt like I don't know, I felt like jelly. I had done nothing specific. I walked around a little bit, but I was just out there for a couple hours and I did a couple things. I watched one of my favorite YouTubers who has nothing to do with anything. She does like decorating and all that sort of stuff. Real no high stakes. I listened to music. Then I just sat in silence and stared out. I heard people around me, but I just that was my grounding experience. And I realized I have got to do this more often. What are you guys saying? I meditate. Gemstone says, I meditate, also movement and dance, taking a shower works wonders too. I know that's right. When my life, if I ever feel extreme chaos and it feels like it's really going crazy, um, it doesn't solve everything, but it solves enough so I can think on a next step by taking a shower, maybe having like a warm beverage. Um, I love hilltops. If you can get to them, they're grounding, calming, and powerful. Yes. Thank you for saying that because it drives me insane when people start babbling about that. Me too. Yep, they have blue eyes in Africa too, but they ain't ready for that conversation. I know that's right. Literally every version. Like, I'm not just, please don't think I'm some lady on the internet just saying this. Like, this is actually scientifically proven. There's whatever you could think of, it's there. Like face shape, tall, short, skinny, fat, big butts, not big butts. Like it's all right there. Um, because there's this idea that and it's like different areas, different regions, and we know through colonialism, um, you know, tribe fighting stuff, all that, and then the real OG, the genocide that the Arabs did before the Europeans even came there. That's a whole other conversation. I like to always remind people about that because that's little known historical information about the onslaught of just like that fighting. So it's like you have people, African people was set up. And when I mean African, I want to be very clear. I mean Black African, nappy hair Black African. Does that help? Because I think people get confused. Oh, you talking about the Egyptians? Because they're not this. No, I'm talking about blacks, Black people, light skin, dark. I look like this because of rape. I look like this. Most Black Americans are about 20 to 25% European because of rape. I'm fun at parties. I'm a gosh darn hoot. But anyway, no. Seriously though, being out there, mind you, this is all in my head and it's not sending me to a place of anger and anxiety. It's like I just let it all come up to the surface. This is part of the grounding people don't talk about. It's not just coming in and feeling relaxed and then everything's okay. No, you got to let that other stuff out first. You got to bring it to the surface. You got to meet yourself where you are. And don't run from it. That's the shadow stuff I guess people talk about. But I like to just say I like to let it bubble to the surface. Um, and then what are we going to do with it? Because in order to ground, I got to let all this chaos sit and just kind of come up like a foam on the top of a drink so I can scoop some of that off and dump it somewhere. And I mentally do that. And then once I've done that, I can ground. But first I gotta be observant to myself, how I feel with what am I okay? Am I hungry? Am I sad? Am I mad? What are my feelings right now? This thing is bothering me. I have fears about this. I let that all come to the surface. That's how I approach grounding. It's not always this intense for me, but there's a lot of intense stuff happening right now. And I think we're all being affected. So yeah, I carried a lot when I got up there. And when I left, the way I just jelly, like and I didn't light a candle. I didn't burn anything. It was just the spirit and the energy around me. Uh, that was so helpful in me. Just the wind. It was windy. The wind itself cleansed. I felt like it was so cleansing in that moment. Um, Yeah. So grounding is going to be essential right now. I mean, it always is, but right now, like just kind of going into the crazy mundane world of the chaos of that's happening here and the ramifications of that. Um, Constantly feeling personally taunted by the government is also something, that a lot of us have to deal with, like just creating laws and testing. I mean, come on, segregation's on the table, y'all. Segregation's on the table. This is just to see if we'll go, out in the streets and riot so they can, kill us all, lock us up, and really get the race war started. That they really a lot, and it's not a small group of people. It's more people than you want to admit. Then I think a lot of people want to realize who really are down for it. They kind of want it to go down. Um, I am fully aware of this, and I am. What's all the buzzwords? I'm living my soft life. I'm resting in my feminine. Um, I'm a queen, so I can't come down from my throne. Pick whichever thing you want to say. Either way, I'm resting. I will not be moved. I'm not going to fight. Fight what? Fight who? Fight this foolishness? No. This is just a bunch of crazy people um, whose life didn't work out for them, and they want me to go off, and they want me, to put myself on the front line. I'm not going to do it. So, what do I do instead? Part of soft life is grounding, going up to the top of a mountain of a lookout, looking down at the valley as the queen that I am, and letting it all go, and not letting it phase me. Um, yeah, that's where I'm at. So I wanted to talk about the importance of grounding because this is something very much happening to me. Um, and I think it's important, especially for all of us right now, to remember that as practitioners, yeah, grounding has been very important these times, especially. Yeah, like seriously, I literally, I do. You have to take it personal. I'm being personally taunted, me and anybody who looks like me. And if you don't look like me and you speak another language, I mean, you're at risk of being deported, even if you're here illegally. Like we're in crazy times. It's the crazy times. And by the way, you don't even get sent back to where you're from. They're sending you someplace else and holding you captive without due process. So there's that. My daughter, who, I see my daughter as my daughter, and I just assume she's a black girl. I mean, I don't assume. To me, I see a lighter tone, but black woman. Uh, However, the outside world can see her depending on the style she chooses to wear or how she might present her hair, wear her hair, or how she expresses the texture or whatever. Someone else, especially living here, might think she is something else. And I joked, but I wasn't. She had made a specific choice in her styling, and I said, "This ain't the time. You need to be looking blickety black. Don't be looking like you need to be deported someplace." She laughed, but she did alter her outfit. It's not the time, y'all. This is not the time to be racially ambiguous. I'm just saying, you get caught out there. Um, because I can't say the things I want to say without being the angry black lady. So I just got to go to my happy space. Child, at this point, I don't even care. Years ago, I stopped code switching. I was really good at that for a moment. I don't care. This is my whoever you are. This is what you get. The most I'll do if I'm on a phone conversation is I might enunciate a little bit more so that you can understand me and speak a little slower. That's about it. That's about it. Outside of that, no. Um, I like having my locks. I'm always going to be black. If I'm happy, that black lady looks happy. If I'm sad, that black lady is crying. If I'm mad, that black lady's being black. Like it doesn't matter. I'm always going to be black first. So I'm not gonna let that get in the way. Now I understand, like in a work situation that gets tough to express that. Um, that's why I'm not in a work situation because I can't keep it up. Some of us, what the kids call us, crash outs. Some of us are just perform crash outs, and we can't get past it. Um, so I'm doomed to find other ways to make money and do other things. Because I do struggle. Like in a corporate world, professionalism is just a far-reaching extension of white supremacy. That's just cruel that you have to be subjected to, at least 8 hours a day. It's mostly at work, but it's getting harder and harder with each passing day. I understand. I do. Um, Keep a crystal with you. And I'm just saying this to you. Everybody else is not going to work for it. Find a crystal, an object. But I'm thinking a crystal because it's easier. And when you are so there, there, just discreetly hold it, squeeze the crystal. Try not to flex, but so much to show your anger. Keep your facial expressions as best as you can. Practice a glamour if need be, but keep that crystal because you're going to just feed it stress every full moon. Charge that thing so that it can handle the amount of energy that you are putting into it. You want to cleanse it periodically as well. I suggest that. And that's just, I don't do this. Y'all know if you watch me, I don't have that, but this is a message that I have for you to start doing that. If it's not a crystal, a freaking rock, find an object, something that if it's hard though, it needs to be hard that you squeeze down on in those moments to get you through. Ooh, I never thought about using glamours in that way. Yeah, you're gonna need we you want to talk about magic existing in a mundane way? Okay, especially women. I'm going to start with just as women in general. Women have been doing glamours magically, even if they're not practitioners and they don't see it that way, forever. It's the glamour, whether it's the obvious seduction, whether it's everything from we've been doing it for protection purposes for a very long time. Now, when you start talking about Black women specifically, oh, child, the glamours, and we got varieties of it too that we could pull out. Some people call it manipulation. I call it survival. I call it surviving. But yeah, we all do it for the narcissistic boyfriends and husbands, to the dusty ones who ain't got nothing, ain't gonna never have nothing, depending on you. Um, and sometimes you need them to do certain things. I'm talking from young to old. So I'm doing a whole spectrum right now. To the miniature job, who you need that job and you need that money. And if you caught alone, these men might do something to you, or they might take it too far. Um, all types of situations, to just talking to in job interviews, to conducting business, all that sort of stuff. Hey, I'm loving that block. Thank you, Sunflower and Thistle. I appreciate you. But yeah, we've always used, when you understand what glamour magic really is, you've women, we've been doing it. We've been doing it for quite some time. Sometimes through, actually, yes, the makeup and all that and the dresses. Sometimes it's just a projection that you're doing. Um, and that's why I say we're magical. To be a witch, yeah, we can talk about bloodline and all that sort of stuff, but to practice magic, we all have the ability. We all have it. If you want to believe that you're just a piece of paper in the wind, and the wind is some deity, wherever they you land is up to them. That's fine. I'm just saying, you don't have to be like that. You don't have to just be at the whim of a deity. That I don't think that that's how any of us are supposed to be. But if you choose that, actually, that's power as well. That's still magic, because you truly believe that that is so. So you're just at every whim of whatever happens in your life. You always feel like life is happening to you. You're not living life. Life is happening to you. Um, And that's a really sucky outlook to have on life. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Uh, to always think life is happening to you. And you look around. I've talked to people like that. They feel like everybody else is having it. They're having this life. They're having this experience, and they're not. Like, why not me? Why, they, even this person was able to find a husband and get married, if that's your deal. Or even they were able to start a business. How did they start a business? I'm smarter than them. Um, if you're asking these questions right now and you find yourself doing that more often than not, or just wondering why not you all the time, um, are you living? Or are you actually doing the things? Are you living your life? A friend of mine actually this morning said to me something I want to share. She says, I said, we were talking about gardening, and I looked outside, actually, this window off to the side here, and I realized I got to get out there. There is a gigantic weed. If I look right now, it's like eye view with the window with me sitting down. So that's a problem because it's all stones out there, and I have like container garden situation. So this is coming through the rocks. It's a really mighty weed that I have to get out there and contend with. Um, so that started the conversation, and she was like, "Yeah," and it started about her gardening, and she's in another state. And she was talking about that, and we were like, "Yeah," I said, "But you're so busy. Are you gonna really have time to do it the way you want?" She's got a lot of stuff going on. And she was like, "Yeah, I don't want," and she said it with like conviction in her voice. She was like, "I don't want, that's the thing I love to do. I like gardening. I enjoy doing it. I don't want to keep putting off the things I like to do for the things I have to do." And that has stayed with me since she told me that this morning. I don't want to keep putting off the things I like doing for the things that I have to do. Um, and basically, she's like, I mean, realistically, I can only do so much, but I want to make time to do it. If that means I'm busy, I'd rather be busy doing the things I love doing than only doing on the things that I have to do. Yes, that is. And I was like, that is a big freaking deal what you just said. Like, it's been sitting with me, and I wanted to, that wasn't what I was going to talk about. I wanted to share it with you guys anyway, because that really kind of just set my tone as well. It's only been of recent that I have allowed myself to luxuriate a little bit more in the fact that I don't have, a common 9 to 5 schedule. Like, I'm outside the house, I'm going into a job or something like that at this point in my life. That's not been my situation. I think one of the things, like some old stuff that I was still holding on to around this, is that, and the best way is to just kind of share the thought with you. Well, you don't wanna think too much about it. Like, basically, I might spook my situation if I look too hard at it. If I enjoy it too much, it might be taken away from me, and that's that rug being pulled from under me syndrome that I clearly still am doing work with, as best as I can. It took a long time for those beliefs to develop, so it takes even longer to kinda just get to a place, and I thought I was pretty good with that. This one thing is something about my time. So money and time, right? Those are the valuable things in our world for most of us. And I currently have an abundance of time. Uh, and I've allowed outside people to kind of reframe this for me too, which is never good, but sometimes we get influenced in a negative way, right? I now I don't think like that now. This is a recent thing that I've kind of worked on with myself. Um, and one of the things, sometimes what I enjoy doing is nothing. And it's okay for me not to do anything. Um, and take a day or a half a day and just like not do anything, not be productive, not trying to find something creative and work on projects or do something like that, and to just do nothing and not feel guilt about it and not feel like I'm like a strain on something or someone. It's okay for me to just exist in the middle of the day and just like chill and be okay with that and not have guilt associated with it and not feel like I had to earn that right to chill. Um, I mean, honestly, I don't, people are not doing the, like society as a whole, the way things are structured makes you feel like you should always be doing something. Grounding is necessary. I wanted you guys to understand to the level that I was at before I went. And I'm trying to share that with you now on why it was so important that I drove up this perilous mountainside. To me, it was tight. It's real tight. It's a tight squeeze. A couple times you look over, like there's no guardrail. Your car could just flip over if you're not careful. I went slow. The speed limit on the side of South Mountain is 25. On the curves, they tell you 15. I went 19. Not me. This isn't how my story's ending. I took my sweet time. I even had somebody go around me. Live your life. If you want to go into an oncoming car, y'all go ahead and kill everybody. Meanwhile, I'm going to be over here about 19 miles per hour, and I'm damn near 10 miles per hour around this curve. And it was tough going up because gravity, but I made it. And going down was even more terrifying, but I made it. Um, and it was the best thing I could have did. So my intention is to do this a little bit more often. That's one location. Gratefully, and then I found a park randomly near me that I could go to, and uh, if I want to kind of just more walk around type thing, I can. I even saw a place where I might do a little hiking light. My biggest fear is falling. Not falling and like falling to my death. I meant just like tripping on a rock and falling. Like I don't want that for me. And I feel like it's perilous. Like there's always a rock you could trip over. Um, yeah. I'll just be honest. I don't want to trip and fall and sprain or break anything. Like, why am I causing myself more stress in my life? But I did see a man with a 2-year-old walking this path. So I figure I'm good. If the 2-year-old can handle it, surely I can. So I did find a path that I want to do a little walking. I might get one of those walking sticks or something to keep myself steady in case I get wobbly. Jimstone says, I sat outside today for an hour in the sun just watching the bees. Bliss. Oh my gosh. Isn't that this? First of all, I'm at the point now where it's porch weather. And gratefully, again, I have a porch. Then it's also almost patio weather for me. So I gotta get up there, clean up. I have an awning and everything out back, and I love it because I can just walk out back and in this one of my I can get to this patio area through my bedroom, which is awesome. So I can go out there and start kind of having those vibes again because it's nice. It's not really hot here. It's nice. I call it patio weather. Like 69, 70s. It might get up to 80. It feels really good, but with like a covered space, it's just perfect weather. So yeah, that's something I can create at home. Another thing is remembering sunsets. It's funny you talked about like the bees and watching the sun. Watching the sunset used to be one of my grounding activities. When I lived in Florida, I would go to the beach, especially like on a golf when I lived over there. Oh my God, that was so beautiful and also very grounding to do that. When you leave, you just feel like, oh, I mean, I also would bring wine. I was there, that might have helped. But here, from my front porch, I can watch the sunset. And it's what here in Arizona, I know California actually can rival this, but the sunsets in the desert are spectacular. To see the sky change colors, you see like hints of purple. It is so magical to see that. So that is something I get to experience from my front porch because of just the placement of where I'm at. I can see that, and there are like a couple trees, so I can kind of see it behind the trees. Uh, it's beautiful, and I'm grateful I get to experience that, and that's a grounding experience as well. So I just wanted to share that because it was so pivotal to me this past week and being able to go. And I didn't even time moved different up there. Like I was up there for hours. We didn't realize it, by the way, how long we had been up there. I didn't do like I didn't go up there by myself, but it wasn't a situation where I was doing too much talking, and there were a couple interruptions because people going to be people. But for the most of my experience, it was just very exhilarating. I took food, up there as well, and chilled, and yeah, it was just awesome. I suggest you find your happy wherever you can, but even better if you can find it in nature. So on to the class. Now that we're talking about that, let's get on to this class. So introducing practical magic for the advanced witch. So the class I'm going to be telling you throughout April 4th, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's a one-day class. It'll be approximately an hour and a half, just under 2 hours, just under, but it'll be more than an hour. It will be on Zoom, so there will be interaction, chat and things like that. You won't be on camera. I will be the only person on camera. But yeah, it's an opportunity to learn a little bit. And I specifically made this for advanced witches. There's so much witchy 101 content. You don't need a class. And the price point set at $25. This is not overly expensive. I wanted this to be accessible for people, especially if you're taking a gamble on me and you're watching this, you don't know me very well, you don't know what I'm bringing. So this is sort of like, hey, let you in the door, and it's not, I'm not trying to take all your money just to get this information, but it is valuable information. So why did I create this class? Excuse me. And I have my notes. I've seen a lot of courses and books focused on the beginner magic, like setting up an altar, working with the elements, casting your first circle. And I believe those things are great because we need that. I needed that when I was beginning. And my beginning phase lasted a long time, so for a while. But what does happen after that? What do you do after that? Um, how do you evolve past like the basics and truly embody magic in your everyday life, which is the meat of what I do at leaptaken.com, help you to live a magical lifestyle. So this class is about practical application, not just theory. It's about truly living as a witch and making magic as natural as breathing. So we're going to cover everything on how to cast spells with less effort, effortlessly, enchant your everyday objects, and harness energy in ways you've never considered before. Um, I'm not going to give this whole class away for obvious reasons, because that's not fun. But I'll give you a little bit of taste. So, magic in motion. So, how to seamlessly integrate spells into your daily routine so you're casting even when you don't realize it. So, I talked about like this grounding experience that I had up in the mountains. If you were to look at me, um, no one would think that's what my experience was, but it was, and it was extremely magical. And I was literally feeling the energy all around me through almost all of my senses, like sight, smell, honestly, on some level, taste in the air. But everything was engaged, and I was doing releasing work as well. Again, just from the casual observer, it looks like I was at one point sitting on a rock, at one point sitting on the bed of my car, the SUV, and another point just standing at the lookout point. But that's what was happening. Um, Also, the power of unwritten spells, a deep dive into intuitive spell casting, sigil work without pen and paper, and energy manipulation. Household alchemy, so turning everyday objects into enchanted tools, from coffee or tea, your jewelry, and even your shower routine. Elemental mastery beyond the basics. So, how to work with elements in an advanced way, using your own energetic blueprint, and advanced glamour and presence magic, not just your beauty spells, but how to command energy and attention effortlessly and even for protection. That's just scratching the surface of what I'm going to be talking about in the class. Each section, so to speak, is designed to build upon the last, creating a truly immersive and transformative experience. So, who is this class for? Um, I want to say it's if you're still figuring out magic, you can come in, because I think a lot of people who think they are still figuring it out and they don't have it all together, if you've been doing that for a couple months, you're probably ready to go. You just haven't executed. You haven't practiced it enough. You haven't actually, you're not doing it enough. Um, you can read, you can learn, you can watch, you can, understand, you can have start to see things and buy things and all that. But until you start doing, you'll always have that feeling of like, oh, I mean, I'm still kind of learning. We're all still learning. Don't worry, we're all still learning. But there's value there for you, because it might be the jump start that you need. Thank you, Sunflower and Thistle. She says she registered. Yay. Hopefully that was the easy process, by the way. um, if you are if you've ever signed up over at leaptaken.com, I also sent the links and everything out there. So it's probably already sitting in your email. I did that just about 48 hours. Yeah, about 48 hours ago. I believe I did that. So incredibly easy. Awesome. I'm glad. That's what I wanted. I also put the link over in our Discord. So if you like, you're not in a position to do something right now, it's over on the Discord as well. If you're over there, signed up over there too. And I realize now I did not put it in the link of here. I'm talking and I realize, wait, did you ever share that link here? No, I didn't. But I will be doing that. So no worries there. I will be doing that. I'm going to come back and put it on here. But go to leaptaken.com. It's right there in the meantime. If you already understand the basics of the craft and want to make magic effortlessly and kind of like a living part of your life, this is for you. If you're kind of over the rigid step-by-step spells and want to work with more of a fluid, adaptable magic, this is also for you. And if you want to cultivate true witchy confidence, where you just know what to do in any situation, which was always my goal, this is for you. Easily. Okay. Thank you. Also is easily found at the website leaptaken.com. That link's in the description. So if you click there's right there on the front page, you can find it right there. I tried to make it as easy as possible. I don't want to make things harder for people. But if you're interested, it's right there. And the class starts April 4th, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But yeah, wanting that, okay, tell me if I'm wrong. When you started your witchcraft journey, were you looking to get to the point where you just knew instinctively what herb to grab, what tea to make, what potion to make, what spell to cast, what candle to do? Like you just wanted that knowing of just being knowledgeable. The true essence of what it is to be witch is to be a wise person, right? Um, to just be wise and just know and have this knowledge. So I don't think, I know this class is part of that process, because once you start talking about practical magic, that's basically what you mean. Something that kind of practically fit, like you have the base. A lot of us already have the base. We need to just learn how to act on that, and that's what this class will do for you. That's my intention to put behind it, so you'll know how to act um, on various scenarios and situations, and that way you can move forward in your craft. Ultimately, I think we all want to be that person deep down, and not necessarily for others, but just for ourselves. So, but if someone you love and care about, who respected your craft, called you or came over and said, "Oh my God, I'm in this tough situation. I don't know, or I keep having these dreams, and these weird dreams. So you're the first person I thought of, and can you help me interpret it? What is it trying to tell me?" And you're someone who you can listen, and you're so in tune with self, spirit, and just the knowledge you've been gaining of reading all those witchy books and watching all these videos, um, to know how to to actually act on it. That's what this practical magic course will help you with. How to take all of that and take it to the next step. So that's part one. Let me take a sip. And now for even more exciting news. Again, April 4th, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is the course. It's on a Friday. So I will be talking about this. So heads up, I'm going to constantly keep talking about the course because I think a lot of us could use this right now. But this is just my mock-up copy. But this is my Book of Shadows for the Hearth Witch. This is my I'm approving this. I'm like editing and all that, or not editing, I've already edited. I'm proofreading and making sure, everything looks good with the book and all that. So this is my copy. This is, and I did, and everything's great. So I'm hitting the button. So it's going to become available very shortly for sale. So I want to talk about this one. If you're curious, the dedication. Matter of fact, no, because you need to see the it's very simple design. It's only truly a Hearth Witch, I mean, some of us like a lot of stuff, but like for this, you kind of want simplicity. This Book of Shadows is a sacred vessel, a keeper of whispers and wisdom, a companion to my craft. Within these pages, I weave the magic of hearth and home, honoring the sacred alchemy of daily life. To the flickering flame that warms my spirit, to the cauldron that nourishes both body and soul, to the sacred sweep of my broom that clears away what no longer serves, to the home spirits who dwell in every nook and corner, to the ancestors who walk beside me, their wisdom echoing in the quiet. May this book be a reflection of my journey, a guide for my hands and a light upon my path. May it grow with me as I grow in my craft, with love, devotion, and magic in every breath. Blessed be. This is the dedication for the Book of Shadows for the Hearth Witch. In this book, like the others, the Book of Shadows for the Love Witch and the Hoodoo Grimoire, there is front-facing relevant information, and then the rest is blank. You said I'm definitely getting this one. Yeah, I'm good. And y'all, I'm in the process. Pause. I'm in the process of getting my registration for the TikTok shop because I'll be over there. Leap Taking will be over there, and I'll be able to sell. I have had people ask, is there another option besides Amazon? I am literally working on it to be able to sell all of my books, these and more to come, including some novels that I'm working on, directly through my website and through other means besides just Amazon. But in the meantime, I'm not asking you to betray your personal politics and whatever you have going on. However, I'm very appreciative if you are willing to support me. I'm starting out, and this is they are the big dog, unfortunately, in this market. So I am for it. I got to work with them initially because that's how I got to get started for now. But I am also looking to broaden out even more. But if you are supporting me regardless, and then you're willing to go through Amazon to support me, I greatly appreciate you. And for those who have, by the way. So yeah, and this people have purchased it, and I'm kind of like, I don't want to get emotional, but I'm kind of like, oh my God, people like you, like, thank you. I don't see much on the market like this. I see variations, but not with that solving the issue of like, well, what do I put in the front of the book? And I don't want a bunch of nonsense stuff in the front of the book. And also, I don't want everything. I want to be able to add to this. This is for you. And also, if you notice the sizing, these are not like these gigantic books. So you can like, you feel stress. This is also an issue I had because how am I going to fill up all those blank pages? Don't worry about it. This becomes your first volume. And then this also is an opportunity for you to look into other magics as well, magical systems, or just a different way of doing magic. So if you complete the Hearth Witch one, are you ready for the Hoodoo Grimoire? Do you want to look into that and filling that one? Do you want to work on your practice as working as a love witch and your glamour and self love? Are you ready for that? You can go with that, and then there's more to come. I just haven't told you all about it yet. It's also that you're getting the book from a real witch. Boom. Yes, you are. Who practices her craft. Like, this is my life. I have made it my business, um, quite frankly. And I pride myself on authenticity. Uh, I'm not a perfect person. I'm definitely not a perfect witch. I'm willing to analyze myself. I'm willing to grow based off of that. I pride myself on not trying to remain stuck. I'm vulnerable in a way that I think scares other people on my platform. And maybe I just feel comfortable because I don't have a very large platform. So it feels a little bit more cozier. However, I don't know. I don't like to betray myself. So I don't think that would change. I know it wouldn't change regardless. Magical journaling is part of my spiritual practice. I buy every grimoire book of shadows I can find. Yours is one of the best pre-made grimoires available. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, my hormones are acting right today because in up until recently, and the hormones are in waves. Um, I would have been bawling and unable to talk. So I appreciate you saying that. Thank you, the pop culture princess. This is part of my main magic is. I call myself a cottage witch, which I find is interchangeable with Hearth Witch. You might call yourself a house witch. Um, we're all in the same ballpark, by the way. So this one is something I guess is my main thing. So yeah, let's talk about what's in here. So your table of contents. So of course the introductory to witchcraft, rituals for protection and warmth. Real rituals are in here, by the way, real spells. Kitchen witchery and hearth recipes, hearth and home correspondences, fire magic and candle spells, daily domestic magic, rituals for family and home harmony, Sabbath celebrations at the hearth, seasonal hearth magic, grounding and centering practices, hearth tools, and magical correspondences. So you got about approximately 50 pages or so of front facing content, and then the rest are going to be blank pages for you to fill up. The intention with all of these books, and let me just show you the other books in case you're like, what other books? What is she talking about? I'm going to show you. And I've already ordered like duplicate copies, so I'm about to have stock in my house now. Um, these are the other books. The book Hoodoo Grimoire and the Book of Shadows for the Love Witch. This has the high gloss finish because duh, Love Witch, glamour, you're gonna have a glossy finish. The Hoodoo Grimoire has that matte finish, which perfectly makes sense, more grounding, earthy look, those vibes. And the which again, this is my mock-up copy, so you won't have this line going through in yours. This will be the other one as well. The whole point again is I want people to kind of be able to do their magical record keeping, and being able to have a place and not feel stuck, like you don't know what to put in there. And then I'll be bringing back videos of me doing Book of Shadow pages because I can't wait to share. And that's actually coming up very soon. And I'll be sharing a lot of that, like on my magical lifestyle of a cottage witch, because duh, this is part of my life. But yeah, I'll be sharing that on there. And just kind of you're curious, like, oh, so what do I put on on the blank pages? What does that look like? And here's some of the blank pages, by the way. Let me just show you. They're simple. You can do whatever you want with these pages. You can cover them up, which I'm known to do stuff like that. You can make it your own. You can just write in here. You might not never put any pictures or anything like that. It just might be words, and journal, and however you want. That's up to you. So just to kind of give you an idea, I'm going to go past the introductory to witchcraft. And I'm going to take you guys a little bit to like a daily protection ritual for protection and warmth, that section. So I say here the hearth is more than just the physical center of the home. It is a place of safety, stability, and sacred fire. Protection and warmth are key aspects of hearth magic, ensuring that the home remains a sanctuary for all who dwell within it. And when I say all, I mean all. So some of us have familiars or just family pets. Some of us have our plant babies. Um, some of us have servitors and other things, maybe that you don't see with your human eye, but they are our creation, or we're working with them. Um, so when I mean all who dwell within it. These rituals are designed to shield against negativity, invite comforting energy, and create a space filled with love and security. Emphasis on security. Uh, you need to feel safe in your home. Otherwise, it's impossible to relax and really, express yourself within your home and rest. So you need, trust me, as someone who I know what it's like not to feel safe in their home. So I never want anyone to experience that. So I had this in mind. Daily protection rituals, morning threshold blessing. So before stepping outside, place your hand on the door frame and say, may only love and light cross this threshold. This home is safe. This home is strong. This home is blessed. So that is a very high level way. If you need something, you can remix this and make it your own. But I wanted to give something, and something you can make into a ritual. For extra protection, you can anoint the doorway with a protective oil like rosemary, clove, or frankincense. Um, that's just one of the things. There's actually more in here. And then there's weekly and monthly protection rituals. The obvious smoke cleansing the home, I'd list that. Um, Home guardian jar spell. There's something in here about that. So that's another one for you to try. And then the rituals for warmth and comfort. So securing, protecting, yes, but there's also part of my practice is I want my home to feel warm. I want you to feel comfortable in my home, myself included, but in all the other inhabitants. I want it to feel homey, like home, without betraying my personal style as well. So I talk about a hearth candle blessing to help with that. Um, and there's some other things as well here. And then I even have a blessing for the hearth, which I like a lot actually. There's some kitchen witchery basics, like cooking with intention before preparing a meal. Take a moment to focus on what energy you wish to bring into your home: love, health, abundance, or protection. Okay. There's a couple correspondences here right off the bat. The magic of ingredients, so like the ones you can get to: basil for prosperity and protection, cinnamon, warmth, success, love, rosemary, purification and memory, garlic, warding off negativity, honey, sweetness in relationships and healing, and salt, protection and grounding. um, I have a couple recipes in here, very basic. A bread recipe as well, protection bread. I thought that was easy, very simple, easy to find, nothing too crazy. A simmer pot, a sweet hearth tea for comfort and healing as well. There's a recipe in here for that. And then lots of charts in a way that the other books don't, because when you're talking about like ingredients, there's so many different correspondences in hearth witchery. But herbs and spices for hearth at home. So I have like a table here with that. There's a lot of information in here in the first part of this book to get you started. And then there's like the daily domestic magic section, like your evening rituals for peace and protection. There's a lot. And then we get into the Sabbats as well, which with hearth magic, it kind of goes hand in hand. Sabbath celebrations at the hearth, inviting seasonal energies into your home. That's something I've talked about a lot here. Yeah, and it just goes on. Seasonal hearth magic, starting with spring, right off the bat. The themes of spring, new beginnings, growth, rejuvenation, and fresh energy. And I kind of go into that as well. Ritual ideas, altar and decor ideas, all that sort of stuff. Like I'm giving you a blueprint here. Um, and if you already have a blueprint and you would just like a little help at documenting that, you have something here for you. One of the things that I like about this book that I don't like about like hardback books is that when I lay this down, I it lays down. It's relatively flat versus a hardback book. Sometimes, if you're at the beginning, like the book, this is floppy enough where it works for me. Also, you can take this with you. Um, if you want to go somewhere, it's not hard to travel with these. I actually took my books with me um, up to the mountain as well, along with my iPad to keep notes and all that. I, I'm into technology and old school hand. I bought pens and markers and stuff like that, but I bought my iPad as well to use the notes app to write in as well because I don't know. I told you if you test me right now for ADHD or something like that, I'm probably gonna show it. Previously, no, something happens hormonally. I can't express this enough. Where you're just like all over. Your brain is not going to let you just stay like this. I can't help but have all the balls in the air. And I'll go through another iteration. Probably, I don't know. From what I'm hearing, around like you get in your 60s, like 65 or something like that. I notice a lot of women finally calm the F down, like the brain calms down a little bit. And they just kind of, they're vibing a little bit differently. But until then, I might be a little all over the place, and that's okay. I'm using that alchemy. I'm using that to my advantage. How the heck do you think I came up with this? How do you think I came up of why I start with the Hoodoo Grimoire and the Book of Shadows for the Love Witch? Because my brain is thinking 50 things all at once. And I'm like, I don't see that. So then I start looking for it and I don't see it. I don't see things like this. And I remember needing this. So that's kind of my rationale. All right. So I'm going to end it here. Again, the practical magic for the advanced witch class. You can go to leaptaken.com. It's right there. You can click on it and go ahead and register and sign up. The class is on April 4th. That's a Friday. It'll be how long is the course for? It's just for that day. And it's approximately about an hour and a half, just under 2 hours is what I'm saying, because I got the gift of gab. So just under 2 hours, but approximately an hour and a half ish for the class, but under 2 hours realistically because it's me. Um, So there is a lot that's going to be going on. It'll be Zoom. It won't be YouTube or anything like that. You'll get the link and all that sort of stuff. Um, yeah, I'm quite excited about all of this. There's so much information that I'm going to talk about, and through hard earned used experience of practicing myself and so many other resources over the years. Like I said, I typically I realize I kind of just like go. I don't really focus too much on how long I've been practicing witchcraft because I don't know. It sounds like a lot more time than I think. Because in my mind, I was like, oh, what's it been like the last 10 years? No, man, it's been almost 20 years. I've been a witch. I've been practicing as a witch, and that is wild. A lot of it in secret. So people who know me more so that like I spent more time with them back then and they see like my social media, um, I know they're like, when that happen? And if you pause and you think about it, did I ever show you I was anybody else? Or did you think, you just assume things about me? But if you really think about it, what did I show you? Who did I show you I really was? I've been this person. I'm just more me. But yeah, April 4th at 3 p.m. Practical Magic for the Advanced Witch. And the Book of Shadows, this was your sneak peek at the Book of Shadows for the Hearth Witch was the sneak peek. This will really get you going for those of us who are especially practitioners of cottage witchery, hearth witchery, kitchen magic, and so forth. Spoiler, green witches are I'm coming with the green witch ones. It's coming. It's coming. Um, yeah, I'm so grateful for everything. Again, I just want to thank you for registering, Sunflower and Thistle. I appreciate you, and those who've already registered. I thank you, all who, if hopefully you're hearing this, who purchased, my books, the Book of Shadows for the Love Witch and the Hoodoo Grimoire already. I appreciate you all. And I'm sure you guys are going to love the Book of Shadows for the Hearth Witch. And each book is unique. The only thing that's the same is probably like the way the back looks with my face on it. But outside of that, the content is different. The imagery, like how the paper, what's on the pages, and they're not even the same lengths. They're all different. For instance, like the Book of Shadows for the Love Witch probably is more, for now, more content heavy up front. So I gave you more blank pages. Followed by that is going to be the Book of Shadows for the Hearth Witch. That one has a lot more written text, and then there's the Hoodoo Grimoire, and that was intentional. That was intentional, but nothing is being skipped. Nothing is being skipped. The relevant information you need is right here, and then the rest is for you to fill in. But the relevant information is up front. All right, so I am going to wrap up now. I appreciate everybody. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their week. If you take nothing from this, go buy my books. Sign up for the class and work on your grounding. Work on your grounding. We all need it, especially as practitioners. Most of us are empaths. I think everybody technically has the ability to be an empath, but obviously it's a little different with us practitioners. Tap in, uh, follow the natural rhythms, get into nature as best as you can. Even if you got to sit by a window, tap in, tap in. We need it. It's grounding, and a lot of us just need that. And also feel free to find the way you need to release, dance, scream in a pillow, stay in a shower an extra 15 to 20 minutes if you need to, whatever it is that you need to do. All right. Thank you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video, all the YouTube stuff. Hit the join button to join Leap Taken membership. It supports the channel. And they have a fun video coming up soon. So if you want to see all that, go ahead and join. Let's see. And head over to leaptaken.com. Check out the services that I offer. I opened up my mentor program, by the way. So there are new slots available there. And I did a little bit of update, a little spring refresh to the website if you want to check that out as well. And also register for the course. Again, the course takes place April 4th at 3 p.m. You're able to register pretty much up until that point. I left it open pretty much because, I know how life is. I know how I am. So it's okay. You have time, but please go ahead and register. It helps me to understand kind of what I'm working with as well. And be prepared. It's Zoom style, so it's not on YouTube. And I will be sending out links. That's a separate email for those who pay and register that they will receive. All right, now I'm done. All right, bye.